Hi, babe. It's Estelle. I want to talk about something real quick. So, I wanted to tell you that you have permission to fire, change, recalibrate, renew your therapist as much as you need to until you find somebody that matches the kind of help that you want to get. Okay? You don't have to accept just whatever the fuck they're giving you. If you feel like what this therapist or the way that they're working with you is not helping you. It's making you feel bad. It's making you feel worse. When you leave sessions, you feel more tense, more stressed. You feel like, "Oh, there's a little mark there. Let's ignore it." You feel like, oh my God, you're like questioning yourself. You can release them. You can fire them. You can switch them. You can find another one. As a black girl, to find any medical professional who is also black is a gift, okay? Especially that I don't live in a black populated area, right? But I'm thinking like if you live in Atlanta, you see more black doctors than I do. I live in California. Um, Recently, I'm going to tell you a story. Recently, maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, my previous therapist quit the agency. So they chose to automatically match me to a new therapist. This new therapist was a black woman. Now, I've had bad experiences with adults in authority that were dark skinned. This is not to say, oh, I have a problem. No, listen to me. I'm a West African child. I do not come with racism and colorism. That's not me. But I do want to say that that's my experience as a teenager, even in the medical field. There are doctors or psychiatrists, two psychiatrists that were black, dark skinned women, specifically even from one of them was Nigerian. I don't remember what the other one was. I don't think she was from Africa, she was from America. And that have misdiagnosed me for whatever reason, right? In high school, when I was back home, because I went to school in my country for maybe 5 years before I moved here in college, in high school. Do you guys call it high school? Yeah, high school and then college, right? That's the American terms. Um, One of the teacher, we had a new teacher. She was a history teacher, and I was a joke motherfucking star. And from the day that she walked into the class, she made it very clear that I would not have a moment to joke. And she will always comment about my light skin ass. Oh, you think because you're light skin you're pretty? You think that because you're light skin you can make all this noise? You think that because you're light skin you're special? I'd be like, yo, what happened? It's other light skin people here. I didn't choose it. Like, what's going on? So that was my first experience. I'm like, let's say 14, 15, right? You're 14 years old and you realize that somebody is has an animosity against you. An adult who is in authorities or a teacher has animosity towards you because of the complexion of your skin. That was my very first time experiencing that. And it stayed in my mind. It's very traumatic, by the way, because my mom is dark skinned. Her first sister is light skinned. Her last sister is like, fair. But my uncles are all dark skinned, gorgeous, dark chocolate men. I have a brother who is midnight black. And I think his skin is gorgeous, right? It's never in my mind came to say, oh, my skin is better than yours. Bitch, why? If anything, I've always had a little bit of a complex that because I am light skinned, I look closer to the white people than my people. So in America, maybe at 21 years old, I had a black doctor who was a male. He told me to see a psychiatrist to get an evaluation. He spoke to me about the lady, and immediately my heart dropped. I was like, if she's a black woman, I don't want to go. Black women don't like me. She's gonna label me something that he was just like, do it for me. Just go. And I really like that doctor, Dr. Lee. So I went. I went to do my assessment, my psychiatric assessment. And the assessment didn't even last 10 minutes. She asked me like four questions. and decided that I have a lot of anger issues deeply rooted inside of me. She decided that I have a superiority I have a superiority thing because I am light skinned, and that I need to be on medication and treatment for it. I think I remember her asking me my age, how long I had been diagnosed with depression for, how I experienced my depression, and how I was dealing with it. I think those were the four questions that I remember her asking me. And she was just like, she put her pen down. She said, well, the whole time she was doing that. Okay, so how long have you had depression? Okay, so what do you think is making you depressed? I don't know yet. You've been in therapy for how long? And you don't know what is the cause of your depression yet? Well, I think that you have deeply ingrained anger issues, like borderline rage issues. Bitch. So when I go back to see my doctor, he's like, I appreciate you for going to see her. I read her comments. We are absolutely going to disregard them. Because I've been your doctor for over a year and a half. Yes, you have a fizzly temper, but every single time that you've went off in this office, I could tell what triggered it. And when I say go off, I don't be going to places like slamming things. No, it's like if I have an appointment at 10 and it's 12:45, bitch, you're fucking kidding me now. Are you crazy? Why did I get an appointment? I'm coming up to the window and be like, oh, hello? I've been here for 2 hours and 45. You got 15 minutes to get me in a room, bitch, or I'm leaving. What the fuck is this? So, does my anger make sense? Yeah, absolutely. Have I ever reacted out of, like, overreacted? I don't have a memory of that. I don't have a memory of that. Like I've never slapped somebody for just looking at me. You know what I mean? Like it's very like you know what I mean. You did this and I matched you. I never kind of push it a little. That's just me. I have the awareness that my anger is going on. So when I met this new therapist, back to the therapy story. She's a black girl. We're talking, and the every time we would talk, you know how your therapist asks you questions to kind of trigger a thought or like you to think about it. Her questions will always be like, so what are you doing about it? So what are you doing about it? Oh, this week I'm really frustrated and stressed out because my mom, she's been like literally micromanaging me and it stresses me the fuck out. Okay, so what are you doing about it? Oh, this week I woke up like 4 days in a row, very anxious. I drank some water, I did some meditation, but it doesn't seem to be helping. I'm not really sure what the trigger is. Okay, so now that you've done all those things, what else do you think you're going to do? It was very like that. Like, bitch, are you helping or not? What are you doing? The drop, the drop. I don't know how to say this in English. Oh my god, I know the analogy in French. La goutte qui a fait déborder le vase, meaning like the drop that made the water overspill. So like the last straw. Oh, thank God, I found it. The last straw. Jesus, my first language is French, guys. Sorry, sometimes I can't. I don't know how to translate. So the last straw was when I was talking to her and was feeling like very depressed because I was in America. I was like, I don't like being here. This country just, I feel like a big part of my depression is being here. And it like triggers me a lot because I can't be in my country. And she was like, so what is keeping you from going back then? A lot of things. A lot of things. For example, my mom lives here. Okay, so you think that you're going to put your life on hold until your mom dies, basically? Do you think that you're using your mom as an excuse to not go off and live your life? Why don't you get an apartment and start living your life on your own? That way, you can start building different skills and you can come visit your mom if you want. Bitch, I don't have the finances to do that. Huh? A lot of us is struggling financially, boo. Are you cuckoo? Number two, I want to pause this right here. If you are an American person, I understand that in your culture, it is that when you're 18 years old, you need to get the fuck out. I don't even know where the fuck y'all be going, but all right, bless your heart. That's not my culture, okay? In my culture, your parent is responsible for you until you can become responsible for yourself. Let me say that again. Your parent is responsible for you until you can take care of yourself. My aunt is in her 40s, right? My grandfather passed away. She's in her 40s. She's not married. She has 3 kids from motherfuckers. But the money that comes from my grandfather's property or properties, I still split to send some to her because that's his motherfucking child. Does my aunt have a job? Yeah, a big ass job. She's built her own house from scratch. She has a farm. She has like a side business from what I hear. But my grandfather is still responsible for her because as a woman, she hasn't gotten married. So he has to fill that gap. So as in our culture, your parents don't kick you out. That's not a thing. Where are you going? Also, if you live in America and you live with your parents and you're making, or with your family, and you're making, let's say, $2,000 a month, right? You work full time and you're making $2,000, let's say $3,000 a month, and you're working full time hours. $3,000 is not enough to get an apartment in California. It's not enough to even be a roommate, because if you're a roommate, you're paying half, right? My house where I live is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen. It's $2,300. So if I was splitting this with a roommate, I would still have to pay $1,150, right? So let's say I make $3,000 and I spend $1,100 on rent. And when you're a roommate, you still have to chip in for utilities. So let's say you chip in for utilities $400, that's $1,500. Your car insurance and gas, let's say that's $600. That's $2,100, right? You have your phone, you have your insurance, your health insurance, right? If you have life insurance, that's maybe another, let's say $400. You're at $2,500. You have to feed yourself, right? You have to put clothes on your body, right? You have $500 left. Can you feed yourself with $500 for an entire month? If so, then you are at net zero. So when somebody says, why don't you just move out? Baby, why would you? Why, if you can live in a place where you can pay rent, like my younger brother, for example, is graduating from nursing school soon, right? Big money. And my mom is like, you need to get a house. You need to start looking at a house. And I'm like, and the other day, it just ticked me. I was like, you know what? Shut the fuck up. He don't need to do shit. Because going to school is a fucking hard ass job. Whatever money that you took to go to school, you have to pay that money back. So now when you go get a mortgage, that's not money that you have to pay back to some kind of bank, right? That's how you guys Americans do it. Why would you put him under that stress? Why wouldn't he get out of school and then maybe we move into a different house that we're still renting for like a year or two, and then he can buy a house? Because renting a house is about what, $2,500, right? Mortgage for a house is not less than $6,000. Why would I put myself in a situation where I get out of school and now I have to make $6,000 just for rent? Just for mortgage, because I want to say that I bought a house, because people my age, but no. So I sat my little brother. I said, listen, baby boy, we're not Americans. We don't run like them. We don't need to move like them. We don't need to. No. When you finish school, take a year and a half, 2 fucking years. The money that you make, split it. One part you save, one part you use for your bills, and part of it you enjoy life. Go on trips, because you've been going to school for 2 years and you've had like no break. Go on a little trip with your little girl. Christmas, let's go on like a little Airbnb. Let's go somewhere for like a year. Enjoy, relax. Save what you can, right? If you save, let's say, $2,000 times 10 times 12 months, that's $24,000, right? Times 2 years, that's $50,000. So when you go to say, oh, I want to put money down, now you have $50,000. You're not moving in with nothing where they're going to say, oh, your mortgage is going to be $15,000 a month because you didn't put any down payment. Take your time. So when she looked at me and she was like, well, you need to figure out a way and go find, like move into your own apartment and, try to grow up. It's time for you to you're very codependent with your mom. It's like you think that if you leave, she's going to die. Logically, realistically, with the money that I currently make, guys, I cannot afford that. For my mental health, if I lived alone, I would probably be dead already. The fact that I live with my mom and my brother keeps me alive. Because when my brother walks through that door in the middle of the night, I can hear him. 8 times out of 10, he will knock on my door. Hey, you sleeping? You ain't sleeping, motherfucker. Hey, walks in there, talks to me about what happened at work. It helps my mind. My mom comes home like, Mom, what happened at the... My mom is a nurse too. What happened at the hospital? Oh my God, we had a crazy patient yesterday. He came and said, I shit on me. Help me. We be laughing. It helps your fucking mind. Do you know that people who are lonely die quicker? Die easily? So you're rushing, you want to buy a house, because people your age, if you feel like these goals that the world shows you are straining you, rephrase your goals, reframe them. I was telling my brother, I don't want to buy a big house in America. I don't want to pay $300,000 and then the land is not even mine. I don't want that shit. But I do want to buy an RV, a big ass RV for like maybe a year, 2 years, nice one. And then I want to buy maybe a mobile home that I can place somewhere. I can do both of those things for the price of a house and have two different experiences in life. Oh, I lived in an RV for a year and a half. Well, now I have a mobile home. A mobile home is still a home. It's just not in the ground. It's still a fucking home. There's water, there's electricity, there's heater, there's all them things. And they're fancy, luxurious ones. So if you meet, and when that happened to me, that she's a black doctor, she's a black person, she's a black woman, you as a black person, you feel nervous firing them. Because one, you don't know if you're going to find somebody else that looks like you. Two, you feel guilty because, bro, I just fired somebody that looks like me. And it looks like we're always looking for more opportunities. So I just took this client from her. But when people say protect your peace, this is part of it. You get to decide who is okay, who is healthy, who is accurate, who is proper for you, and who is inappropriate. Once I realized that this woman was not addressing me with any tinge of compassion, with any tinge of realistic fucking things, like, nigga, are you kidding me? We just came through a pandemic. There are people who have lost businesses and had to move all back together. And your advice to them would be like, well, pandemic is over. You need to get out there now. Shut the fuck up. Any therapist who's going to make you feel worse about your situation ain't the accurate therapist, babe. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they sound like. Fire them bitches. That's your right. That's your duty to protect your vessel of healing. It's your duty. You can fire them at any time. You decide. All right, I hope that this message made sense. I hope that it gave you the courage, the knowledge that, oh, I could do that. Shit, I didn't know. Even if it's a therapist that doesn't look like you and you've had them for a minute and you're just scared that you're not going to find somebody else, release them. Because your healing is very important. And if it's in the hand of the wrong person, that is fucked up. That is fucked up. Maybe your healing is taking way fucking longer because your healing is in the hands of the wrong fucking people, babe. This is your responsibility. Step up. I love you. Continue to take care of yourself. Continue to speak up for yourself. Continue to set them fucking boundaries. Peace.